Okay, so welcome to another tutorial series of strangeness from me. Dancing food again. Yes, I have a one-track mind these days, and our dancing food is cake. Yes, it is. So this time, because I feel like it, we're gonna use concept art. Well, my kind of concept art. So we'll get him going here. Ooh, oh my god. 90. There. This is what we're making, more or less. This is the rear end view, and this is the side / front view. It's the side of the cake, but I guess it's the front. But anyways, that's where we're putting the arms and legs. The arms is they're gonna be arms, and there's gonna be a ball joint kind of thing attaching them to the body. The eyes are gonna be more a part of the cake. They're not stick-on eyes concept. And the mouth will be similar to the mouths that I've done before, and the legs are gonna be very simple, sort of stickman type legs. And there's gonna be a candle, and because I'm making this for Iclone 7, I thought I would add a flame particle, although I haven't actually taken a look at the stuff in Iclone 7 for particles. I think it's going to work, and the candle itself will be flexible, so that when he moves the candle in my brain, with the flame will be moving on its own without any animation, just flip-flopping a little bit. Does that make sense? Okay, so also it will be partially sculpted and partially box modeled, and then we'll retopologize the sculptured parts and stuff them on the cake part. So if that makes any sense, whatever works to get to the end, that makes a fairly nice mesh, lowish polygon. Triangulated. When it triangulates, it doesn't triangulate in a weird way, so that it works. So we'll add our first piece is, yes, of course, a cake is a cylinder, more or less, with a slice, right? So there we go. This is the first part. And do I have my display on? Start there. Extrude switch, scale 0. And then I'm going to switch to, I guess that's about the right size for a piece of cake. Yeah. Scale. I'm going to scale it up to, you'll see, Y. Oops. P, separate by selection. That's the part I want. I'm going to get rid of that. And now I'm going to get rid of this. X those vertices. And now I'm going to extrude this downwards on the Z axis. And there's our slice. Now, I'm going to scale it on the Y axis a bit like that, because it's got to be able to fit our arms and legs and various paraphernalia. And then I'm going to, these normals look like they're all flipped, so we'll recalculate them just because. And then I'm going to Shift C, and then for the origin, set origin to the geometry, and then snap it to the cursor, and then I'm going to grab it up here. Now I'm going to add a, oops, that's not what I want. I'm going to add a plane because I need something as a guide. a visual angle sort of thing, because it's just easier, I find. Now I'm going to rotate this to match the edge of this RZ, and then I'll fix the angle in here, -20. And this is just so I can, it's at 0, right? That's just so I can have a way, my ruler, to know that this is like this front-on view. Well, our front-on view. I guess I can take this all and rotate it. RZ90. Now it's the front view-ish. Well, that's our front. I guess I should be more, because this is a tutorial, RZ180. There. We'll try and make everything kosher. This is our front view. Yeah? Okay, and here's our highfalutin concept art. Shift D. RZ, oops. RZ90. There we go. So now we have an idea of what he looks like, no matter what perspective we're on, more or less. Well, the perspectives that matter. Okay, so now we're going to work on, first we're going to save this. Save this as Cakey Dance. That's what I decided to call this, Cakey Dance. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next part of it. I'm going to snap this object to the cursor again because it's not the center where I want the center. Well, that's the center-ish, more or less. This is asymmetrical, so we can't use mirroring for a whole lot of things, but we will when we can. So the next thing we need to worry about is the arms. Now I'm going to pick these arms, smooth, scale it down. This is going to be the ball joint that's going to rotate on the cake. Now this is probably, a lot of this is going to be, I'm going to duplicate this for later. We might need it for the eyes. So this is, a lot of this is going to be retopologized because of what it is. I just find it's the easiest way. Now we're going to add, how am I going to do this? How do I feel like doing this is more of a RX90. I think I'm going to use the, I'm going to go into local view. I'm going to use X the faces. I'm going to use the, I don't know if this is a good idea or not. Well, we can always separate it if it's a bad idea. I'm going to use this and make the arm joint out of it. Just like that. Extrude. One arm, view, global, local. Now it's a little bit long, I think. Or maybe not. RZ90. I guess that's about right. If I do it for the feet, the hips, that's about the hips down there in our arm. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. So there's the basic arm, except kind of cut and slide. Scale it down for part, mesh, edge slide. And then when it comes to the wrist, it comes out again. And then the hands come off. Now I'm going to sculpt this. I'm thinking while I'm tutorialing. Okay, so I'm going to extrude. I'm going to do something a bit weird. Because normally I make the hand box model them, like, and then sculpt, but this might work. Well, it'll work. It's just a little bit weird. Scale Z. So there's our hand. That's the, what do you call it? The palm of our hand. And there's a wrist, comes out at our wrist, and then it comes out, and the thumb, and the, you know, how a hand goes. Select edge loops. This is the there's more than one way to skin a cat tutorial, I guess we'll call it that. And I'm doing this the slow way again. I do not do a whole lot of shortcuts. Control plus. I guess we'll do something else here. Scale Z. Control plus. Scale Z. Okay, so now we need our fingers to come out. Now we need a thumb. The thumb is on the inner part here. This may not work, and I may delete it all and go back to a box model. But it should work for sculpting. Yep, so there's kind of the extrude. There's a thumb. Maybe one more. Two more. One more. Extrude. Yes, yes. We'll do it one more time. There we go. Thumb. Now I only want 2 or 3 fingers. Do I want, like, according to this, the thumb, and it's got 1 thumb and 2 fingers, so maybe we'll go for that. I don't know. We'll take a look at this face. Oops, that's not a good idea. Face. Face. I guess I can do the rest of them while I'm here. Face. 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 Should be fine now. There we go. Okay. We'll do 2 fingers. I've decided. 2 very fat fingers. This one is fatter than the other one. Extrude. extrude. There we go. See, it worked. Connected. No. I'll say, why is my hard drive going? Connected. Boom. Page down, 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 down. Oh, page down, down. Okay, fine. Disable. One more. There we go. So there we are. That's all I'm going to do for now, because I may need to do some interesting work. We're going to see RZ. This has to be in order for the motions to work, because I'm doing my usual thing and saying I would like these to work with as many bipedal Iclone motions as I can. My focus is on the walks, so I need this to be in their T pose. I don't know if I can, it will be good enough for T, like, you know what I mean, like the perfect T pose, but my focus is on the legs more than the arms when I do these things, because at least if you can use the walks, then you can work on the arms using extend bones and whatnot, and it should work. So there's a hand. Actually, his hand part is not large enough. Looking at this now. So let us scale it up to be a goofy hand like it's supposed to be. And the thumb is not thick enough, so we'll deal with that. Let's try connected. And these fingers will, of course, probably should have let's look at his. I have to do it in this. I wanted to make sure it was okay conceptually, so I'm gonna make his thumb a little bit comme ça, because it's bugging me. Scale on the x-axis. Scale on the x-axis. And that's probably, I guess, that's about right. Well, we'll worry about that. The hand, the wrist is not proportioned right, but we can do that as we sculpt. So that's that, and so the geometry is sort of the same vertex count. It should sculpt a little bit easier. Now I'm going to mirror it, although when I sculpt it I will mirror the final result, but we'll go mirror in the X global. There we go. So RZ. RZ. So there we go. That's that. Now we're going to use this here down here to get our eyes right. Shift D. Well, and I think I want them to be like that. Shift D. So So there's our eyes. In this case, very close together. So they're going to, this would be like the eyelid, and inside will be an eyeball, which I will probably just make a solid color with no pupil. I don't know yet. And this lid, I want to make it camouflage with the cake, so that if his eyes are closed, you just see maybe a little bit of lumping. And his arms, I haven't decided. I think that they might also be striped. Maybe that will be a bit too busy. We'll have to see when we get there.